I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with Star Trek Strange New Worlds composer Nami Melumad. Nami, Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 experimented with various genres and storytelling formats. A special crossover episode, there was a musical, a courtroom drama, mind-blowing existential sci-fi, action adventure, war, you name it. So what was your highlight from Season 2?
Yeah, I think my highlight was the crossover episode actually with Laura Dex, because it provided this sort of opportunity to be a little more animated with the music, and because we got some visitors from the animated show, but they arrived in in a human live action format, and then but there was a couple of moments that were still animated, so I thought it was really cool to play with our themes for Strange New Worlds in a more animated way. So that was really fun. The other thing I really enjoyed was the romantic episode. I think it was 203 with Lon and Kirk. That was a real highlight for me as well. So, but yeah, it's really fun to do all these genres. I think there was a comedy episode as well with Spock, and his
Yes, that's
future
right.
wife to Pring, and her parents are coming, and not in the right moment for Spock when he loses his Vulcan ear. So, it was a delight, really. It's such a great show to work on with all sorts of genres, as you say, and everything is within that scope of sci-fi and adventure and mystery, and there's always so much excitement in each of our shows. So I'm very happy to be working on it.
You know, I forgot about the comedy, and I also forgot about the rom-com in episode 3 tomorrow and tomorrow, the one where they
Yeah,
go back in time.
yeah.
You just get so much variety in this show, and that's why I love this particular version of Star Trek so much, because I just never know what I'm going to get. And but the baseline for Star Trek is that it's very always going to be ambitious in scope and scale, and it prioritizes emotional character-based arcs beautifully. So talk me through the balancing of that muscularity and bombast that is appropriate for high octane action in sci-fi, but also the subtle emotional cues in the quieter moments. Is that a difficult needle to thread?
I wouldn't say it's difficult, but there is a fair balance that I have to think through every time. I think now as we're starting season 3, it comes a little more naturally. Um, but yeah, you always sort of want to balance, those bigger orchestral moments, the big dramatic action, and the big reveal moments, let's say, or mystery, versus those nuanced conversation, like for example with Pike and Battelle. Like there's so much nuance in their romance, and you want to capture that in a way that, and it evolves in the entire show. Same with Spock and T'Pring, Spock and Chapel. So I think it provides a great opportunity to install a theme and then to develop it, and with variations, and over time it grows with the characters. So I feel you know, it is within those relationships where the music can really play a lot of the nuance. A lot of times what I would do is, when we have a specific star in the episode, or a specific new character, or a specific location, or a specific sort of aliens, or whatever the mystery is, there would be like a grander theme for that particular sound, or stuff that would serve as like the big high octane stuff that you're mentioning. Like that would be, okay, there's the Gorn, so that's the Gorn, and there's very specific episodes where, we'll have the full on Gorn theme. Um, but then I think within the characters of our show, like we have Uhura and her past and her theme. So it's really fun to develop those arcs, and that music with the characters.
Let's talk about the Gorn, because as the Star Trek nerd on this panel, I'm going to tell you now that that was one of the most exciting things that I've seen on TV all year. Again, need to get out more. So, season two finale features Lieutenant Spock and Nurse Chapel fighting the ferocious Gorn in breathtaking zero gravity, and the score is right there, amplifying the life or death stakes of the scene. So when you know what you're about to get yourself into to score that the finale, what was going through your mind and how you wanted to really ratchet up the tension orally for the audience in such a climactic scene.
Yeah, oh my God, that was an amazing episode to work on. Just the visuals are were so inspiring. I mean, it's always inspiring, but that one was so grand. And as you're saying, zero gravity, like all this destruction, amazing shots. And yeah, it was just, I'm like, how do I amplify this? How do I make this better than it already is? And the edit was just superb. And the actors, like everyone has done such a great job, and I think that's where music really shines. But when it feels like it's part of, the rest, when all the art is coming together, you have the direction and the writing, and so the music just becomes part of it, and I feel like those kind of visuals really elevate my work. So I'm very thankful for all the incredible creatives that we have on the show. And so in terms of music, what I was trying to do is really that was a moment for the famous Star Trek motif. Like yeah, I had to include it somewhere there. And what I did was to add a lot of synths, which we have not done previously in the show at all. Like, I mean, there was some synths, but not as prominent as this one. So that was really, really exciting. And then we have the Gorn theme playing like full on, full scale. Before that, if you remember in season one, there's an episode where we don't even see the actual Gorn.
No, yeah,
We and it's all very hinted, and their theme is there, but it's not as crazy and big and just scary. It was intended to be very scary at the season finale of season two. So that was the idea behind it. Just absolutely terrifying, and I think we captured that. So it
yeah. I noticed, I thought it was just me because like it was like as if you had turned up the synth element more than normal and it wasn't as orchestral and it worked. It really did because it's in a completely different foreign and scary environment. So let's just change it up a little and that really worked. But I'm always wondering about what you're doing and Jeff on Discovery and all the composers that work in Star Trek. Are you conscious of this pressure to give the fans what they want? Because for me, the most exciting parts of your score with this show are the inspirational orchestral melodies that duck and dive into a little bit of the old flourish, but also give us something new as well. So, what about that particular balance, giving us the what we expect and also surprising us?
Well, as a huge Trekkie myself, I am always tempted to use the theme, and to hint for other shows and like install all these little Easter eggs. So there are Easter eggs in this show, but I think for all composers who work on Trek, and I feel it's a very aware decision. Like you have to be very aware of when you're choosing to use um the Star Trek theme. And I think it was also very prominent in Picard. um those choices of you want to bring it when it's earned. Otherwise, if you just continue to use it all the time, it kind of loses its effectiveness. And so there has to be a very good decision about when it is appropriate to use it. I mean, think about it as like, it's like the ice, it's like the cream on the cake, or it's like
Yeah,
it's that's something we're all always so looking forward to. But yeah, it's just about balancing and being careful. And sometimes there'll be, also a question for the showrunner, like or the producers, like how big do you want us to go? And is this a moment for a big scale Star Trek theme? But at any given moment, I do think about intentionally having the feel of a Star Trek show. And I do try to honor past scores as well. I'm listening to Jerry Goldsmith, I'm listening to Dennis McCarty. I'm a huge Michael Giacchino fan. So I am and having worked on a show like Star Trek Prodigy as well, I and having done 20 episodes for Strange New Worlds, it's it's kind of finding its balance between honoring the tradition and also bringing new and exciting elements, because we're doing a new show. But I feel overall our show, Strange New Worlds, really honors the legacy of Trek. I mean, this was the original pilot starts with Pike, right? So in everything they're doing, from costumes to characters to production design, everything, and the writing itself, and the format of one mystery every time and a big arc. I feel all of this is honoring the original series so much, that music is also just one more element that does that same thing. It's like honoring what was done in the past and building on top of it.
Yeah, I think you're all aligned. Every department head seem to be aligned on this whole philosophy for New Worlds that makes it soar. It's so beautiful. Nami, thank you for your insight. We're going to bring you back shortly for our panel.
Thank you.